Using a site like PC Part Picker, you can find parts that are in your budget as well as compatible with each other. You can then go over to newegg.com and find all of your parts, and most of the time find better deals and free items with your purchases. How powerful you want your PC to be is dependent on how much you're willing to spend on it. For this PC, you will need a CPU, GPU, power supply, RAM, SSD, motherboard, case, and extra peripherals we'll get into later. Get a clear space in a box, usually the one that comes with your motherboard. Place your motherboard on the box and install your CPU. You do this by lining up the corner that's marked on the CPU and the socket, being careful not to break any of the fragile pins on the back. You'll see the CPU drop into place. That's when you put the latch down. Now you install your RAM. Pop the latches open in slots 1 and 3. You'll use these slots for better performance. Then, you push them down until you hear them pop into place. The box that I was using had a lot of give, so don't use a giant chip box. Don't be afraid to use some force. The motherboards are surprisingly durable and are meant to flex a bit. Now, this is usually where you put in the SSD, but I was too scared to take it out of the motherboard because the first time I built this PC, I had to put it in there very particularly because it didn't fit the screw hole, and I really didn't want it to blow up. Anyways, this is the first step that you're going to be using a screwdriver. You're installing your motherboard. Make sure that if you're not using the stock lure that comes with your CPU, you fasten on the backplate that comes with your device. For this tutorial, I'm using one-of-site coolers because it provides better temperatures, giving better workload efficiency. Essentially, you're just lining up all the driver holes with the motherboard and screwing in the screws that came with your case. If you're not already, I would strongly recommend using a magnetic screwdriver because it's kind of hard to get the screws as they fall into the case, and it makes the overall experience a whole lot easier. Next comes the power supply. This is what delivers power to your PC. For installing this, it kind of depends on what case you have, but mine goes into the side and screws in. While there are a few different places that I could put the power supply, I put it here because it's easier to cable manage. Now, this is where you're going to plug in most of the power for your PC, but first, you're going to need to plug in the power button and USB cords from your case to your motherboard. This will make it so that you can turn on the PC and use USB devices like keyboards and mouses. Then, you plug in the rest of the power cords. I usually start from bottom to top. The power cords are labeled both on the actual cord and the motherboard itself. These cords consist of the 24-pin connector, which basically powers everything else, and the CPU cord, which you guessed it, powers the CPU. I would recommend doing some minor cable management as you go so it's easier to do the rest later on. Now's the time to install your GPU. Flip the latch and line up the connector, then push till you hear a pop. Then you secure your GPU with a screw and plug in the PCIe connectors from your power supply to the GPU. Then flip the PC right side up and ensure that there is no sag on the GPU because this could destroy it. Now, I could show you how I put my CPU cooler in, but I'm not going to. There are so many variables that me showing you mine would not help you. Follow the directions from your cooler's manufacturer instead. Last but not least, plug in your USB stick with Windows on it and all of the USB devices like keyboards and mouses. Then plug in your monitor with an HDMI cable to the GPU, as it won't display picture when plugged into the motherboard.